Go ahead.
Caesar, we're ready?
Thank you, sir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Monday, March 14th, 2022. Commissioners Court is meeting in regular open session. Would you please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May God bless America.
We'll now receive an invocation from Rabbi Levi Greenberg.
Before delivering the invocation, I'd like to begin with an act of charity. I'm giving it into one of these yellow boxes known as an ark, and the county judge will explain later on in the meeting. Sovereign of the world, Almighty God, I invoke your blessing today upon the legislative leaders gathered here at the El Paso County Commissioners Court as they prepare to resume their work on behalf of the citizens of El Paso County. We ask your divine blessing for all of their constituents, wherever they may be. Gathered here in a chamber of elected leadership and online, let us recall the preeminent leader, the biblical Moses. As the contemporary spiritual leader, the Rebbe, Rabbi Schneerson, explained, Moses was not merely a leader who set guidelines and imparted knowledge to his people, but he also had the unique gift of being able to reveal every individual's inherent potential. Almighty God, please bestow the wisdom upon the elected leaders gathered today to legislate laws that are not only just and compassionate, but ones that enable everyone in our county, of all ages, backgrounds, and cultures, the ability to achieve their true potentials. Please invoke your blessings upon the county judge and the commissioners as they follow the American tradition by marking the 120th birthday of the great spiritual leader, the Rebbe, on April 12th, 2022, as Education and Sharing Day here in El Paso County, a day upon which to recall that education must go beyond the acquisition of knowledge and must focus on the building of moral character. More than just training our youth to make a good living, education is about training them to make proper decisions in life. Every human being has a spark of inherent goodness, the Rebbe taught, and with the proper attention, guidance, and inspiration, every single person can nurture that goodness in a way that can change the world. Through empowering our young ones to do more acts of kindness, we can strengthen their sense of compassion and dedication to service for the betterment of all. Please give our elected officials the inspiration and humility to unite across all divides in the pursuit of a just, meaningful, and moral society, as was outlined in your 7 universal laws you gave Noah and his descendants after the great flood, one of which, the command to govern by just laws, is the purpose of their gathering today. May it be your will, God Almighty, that the tireless efforts of the county judge and the commissioners in these directions be successful, empowering all the individuals in this county to be decent human beings, considerate of others, reverent of you, and ready to do their bit toward the ultimate goal of a perfect world in which your presence will be manifest. As the psalmist declares in Psalm 121, I lift my eyes to the mountains, from where will my help come? My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. And he concludes, God will guard your going and your coming from now and for all time. Amen.
Rabbi, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you, and we'll be hearing a little bit more from the Rabbi. We thank him for the initiative you'll be hearing later on today. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And Rabbi.
Judge, do you have some opening comments for us this
Yeah,
morning?
just on behalf of Commissioners Court and myself, we have 2 virtual. Commissioner Stout and Commissioner Holguin will be on virtual. And of course, you've got Commissioner Robinson and Commissioner Leon here with us today. And pretty excited to have our firefighters, their courage and bravery that they've displayed, not only in that situation, but throughout. We're always very well protected, so we thank you for being here today with us. And everybody else here and online, thank you for our opportunity to share our experiences and information about what goes on in county government. And always a pleasure to have you as part of this process. So thank you very much, and we welcome you to Commissioner's Court. Thank you.
Item number 4 is the consent agenda, composed of items 4A through 4X. We do have 2 corrections to read into the record for item number 4B. The item should read, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the County of El Paso, Texas Contract Services Agreement for consultant services with Lyle Sumek, doing business as Sumek and Associates, for strategic planning consulting services in an amount not to exceed $29,000, subject to review and approval from the county attorney's office. Funding is available in General Fund, County Administration, Contract Services General, contract number 2022-0140. And the correction for item number 4P from the county attorney's office, correction should read, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the development agreement with River Oaks Properties Limited for the vacation of Schilling Avenue and Zollinger Avenue and the improvement of Amesbury Avenue and Ashtabula Avenue in Gateway Estates subdivision, subject to final review and approval by the county attorney's office. No county funds are required. Contract number 2022-0199.
Any changes? So I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries. At the judge's request, item number 5, resolutions. We're going to take item 5B first. Approve and adopt a resolution declaring Education and Sharing Day as a day to encourage all people to participate in random acts of kindness and impact our community in El Paso County, Texas.
Well, thank you. It's quite a privilege and honor for me to be able to read into the record this resolution. It's a relationship that I've had prior to August 3rd and the tragedy, but it sort of, we became a little bit more focused on, what do we do? We could, think about what happened. We could do a lot of other things besides a healing garden, and I think we showed and displayed that we know how to handle situations in the best possible way and move forward and come out of them better. But you'll hear from the rabbi on his contribution and his thoughts about how, generosity leads to kindness, and then kindness leads for us to think different and behave different in our community. So, like I said, it's my privilege and honor to read the resolution. Whereas education is a significant foundation for the continued success of our state, our country, and society at large. And in El Paso County, we strive for the betterment of all through an increased focus on education and sharing. Whereas in order to achieve its highest goals, education must be more than just a training in facts and figures, or even in basic skills, as important as they are. It must also include instruction in the deepest ethical values of our civilization. And whereas one of the leading global advocates of the advancement of education, Labvitcher Reb and Rabbi Menchem Schneerson, stress the importance of moral and ethical education as the bedrock of humanity and the hallmark of healthy society, and strongly urge that education be reinforced by inculcation of strong moral values, and where such an education can nurture the unity of diverse peoples through encouraging increased acts of goodness and kindness, imbued with the awareness that even a single positive act of an individual can make a major impact in this world. And whereas April 12, 2022 will mark 120 years since the Rebbe's birth, and for more than 40 years, the President of the United States has recognized and honored the Rebbe's vision each year on his birthday by proclaiming it Education and Sharing Day, USA. Whereas now, therefore, be it resolved that the El Paso County Judge and Commissioners Court will call upon government officials, educators, volunteers, and citizens to reach out to those within your community and to create a better, brighter, and more hopeful future for all. In the spirit of leading by example, the Commissioners Court supports gifting employees with a giving box to encourage the county family to donate a small amount of money daily. El Paso County will launch a campaign to ask employees to join this initiative with a routine act of kindness, and will ask employees to participate in a survey to select a nonprofit of their choosing from a list of current charitable organizations through the county's Combined Charities campaign, thereby nurturing and the inherent goodness we all possess by making kindness routine in our lives. And do hereby also declare Tuesday, April the 12th, 2022, as Education and Sharing Day. Signed this 14th day of March, 2022.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Rabbi, please, both of you, thank you. If you want to start off by, you could go ahead and address us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Judge Samaniego, and all the
Thank you.
commissioners. Thank you so much for approving this, this recognition, this proclamation, and most importantly, for leading by example. You know, the Rebbe was a global spiritual leader who till today inspires many millions around the globe. And one of the things that the Rebbe was very well known for, aside for teaching and inspiring through his talks and his letters, but mainly through empowering others to be agents of goodness. Whenever he had the opportunity, he would give $1 or a coin to people and tell them to go and take that dollar or the coin and give it to charity. And the idea is that people are mostly influenced by the things that they do more than the things that they hear or that they are taught. And especially children. You could preach to them from today till tomorrow, but what has the greatest impact on our young ones is what they do. Goodness and kindness is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And therefore, the Rebbe advocated for the idea that every person should have a charity box, a giving box. This one looks like a boat, like Noah's Ark. Ark stands for acts of random kindness. And when you have a box on your table, on your desk, in your kitchen, you start off the day with an act of charity, you give money into it. Once it's full, you take it out, count out the money, and send off a check or do a credit card payment to a charitable organization, and then you start again. You turn acts of random kindness into acts of routine kindness. And I believe it is most appropriate that in honor of the Rebbe's 120th birthday, which will be proclaimed as Education and Sharing Day, the fact that the county is leading by example and gifting all of its employees, all the Commissioners Court employees, an ark and encouraging them to give charity, this is certainly most appropriate and will definitely broadcast this message that goodness and kindness is something that we all can do, we all should do, and can make a real difference in our world. So thank you again, and I'm sure in the coming weeks there's going to be more information and the arks will be in town, and I'm sure you're going to do great things with it.
Thank you. Rabbi, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you for announcing as April 12th, Sharing Day and Caring Day, United States of America, in the county of El Paso, in honor of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. I think our friendship takes a long time, and I'm happy that a friendship can mean into fruition, helping others. In Hebrew, the word happy is sameach. Sameach means to be happy. And we learn the concept of sameach, to be happy, comes from the same word as shaliach, a messenger. When you are a messenger to help others, that it makes you happy. So when people give charity and we encourage others to give charity, that encourages others to do for other people. More you do for other people, happier you are. So let's take that mission upon ourselves. We should do for others, encourage other people to do for other people, and that will affect our life, that we will become happier. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And, like I said, our friendship, I've learned tremendously about giving and kindness. And when I spoke to the Rabbi Greenberg, we talked about, what can we do? How did this happen? How does someone come to our city and decides that they're going to be that destructive? And what would have changed? And we can't speculate. We don't know what happened, but what we do know, that maybe had he been allowed to be more generous, or that he was involved in that generosity of giving and understanding, that maybe things would have changed. And so that's their contribution, and I'm hoping to join their contribution, that if a child begins to give and he's kind on a daily basis, not just on Sundays, but on a daily basis, that then you'll have more of an opportunity for that child not to be destructive, or that child to understand the beauty of helping and loving other people. And so to me, like I said, the healing garden was very important, because it was our opportunity to show that we need to heal. And it's not, I've said over and over, it's not a memorial, it's a healing garden that was driven by the death of 23 people and 25 that were injured, but it's a way for healing. And so this also came together as an opportunity for us to do something very positive and be united as a community. And Betsy and I always talk about that we need to be role models. We have such an opportunity, and you have some great role models in your commissioners, and the employees are just unbelievable here at the county. What a great opportunity for us to do that, for us to be able to help on a daily basis. And it has to be not a lot of money. You just, the family puts in a quarter, a dime, a dollar, whatever it is. And then at the end of the month, they determine as a family, what do we want to do with that? In this case, they also have the opportunity to look at where the county as a whole would like to support. So they'll be getting, I think every employee will be getting, an ARC, act of random kindness, so that we can, as a community, move forward. We have a lot of, challenges because of the pandemic, and I keep, talking about mental health and how, we're going to have to address a lot of mental health. And one of the best ways that any therapist or anyone always encourages is that when you stop sort of looking at your problem and you try to help someone else, something magical happens. You start feeling a little bit better, that you get away from what your problem is, and maybe helping someone with their problem has some kind of connectivity with feeling better about yourself, or happy, as the rabbi has said. So, Rabbi, both of you, thank you so much for being part of this. The county, let's do everything we can. Let's show, let's be a great role model as how, when we're generous, we become kinder, and when we're kinder, we have a better society. So, I want to thank the both of you for that.
Judge.
Yes, sir. Rabbi, and then I'm going to have Commissioner.
Just if I may mention that in the room with us, we have a group of wonderful role models, El Paso firefighters, which is a tremendous type of service, which borders on, self-sacrifice, literal self-sacrifice service for the community. And definitely this is hopefully going to encourage many to go in their footsteps. I understand the American Red Cross is here as well, which is a paragon of kindness and of generosity and compassion. So I think it's very appropriate.
And I just want to add that this, what both rabbis are doing and the Jewish community, is they gain nothing from that. They're not gaining anything from that. It's not money going back to them. It's a very selfless act, which sort of exemplifies what we're trying to accomplish here. So, Commissioner Robinson?
Judge, so just a couple questions. The funds that we're collecting is going to go to charity. Is it any designated charity or any charity that we choose?
Yeah, it will go to charity, and they'll have a list, and then the employees will take a survey, and then we'll determine as county employees, where we think that, but they also have the option to do with their, whatever they do with their, the money they've collected, they have the option to give it to anyone they want to, because it's quite a, when we first talked about it, of taking your family and go giving it to maybe a homeless individual as a family, it means a lot, and the family begins to understand even more so, because it's tangible. You know, you're giving something directly as a child to someone that needs your help. So they can either choose to be, you know, whatever the county decides, or they could choose to do something on their own.
And how long this campaign will go on?
Well, hopefully it's ongoing. I mean, it's something that on a monthly basis they have the option, the opportunity. HR will be helping us with the information, the collection, and all of these things that can help us to do it properly. You know, one thing I learned, that don't call anything a campaign, because it means it starts and it finishes. And so I don't want it to be a campaign, but as the rabbi said, it's something that becomes part of our life, something that we do forever. I also know that one of the key things in you know, best place to work, the concept that people, you know, employees who volunteer and who help with charity are some of the best employees that you'll have. So it's also encouraging us to be great employees. So,
Well, Judge, I'd like to kick it off.
same here, we'll start the process.
Judge, while Commissioner Robinson, you all are doing that, can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead, Commissioner.
I was just wondering how, you know, is this going to be in tandem with the charitable giving that we have available to our staff through payroll? Is this going to be somehow working with that program?
I think not so much the way we give, but maybe within things that we're helping with to begin with. But Betsy, could you address that, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that question, Commissioner. So the concept is that for the acts of routine kindness,
Random,
we
routine.
would take the charity organizations that already employees have identified through our campaign of giving, our giving campaign, and we would survey employees, and we would select one for a 30-day period, and any contributions that employees put into their ARC and would like to contribute to that organization, it'll be completely voluntary, but at the end of the 30-day period, we'd collect them and submit it to that organization. So the organization on the survey would come from the list of organizations that our employees identify as part of that combined charities campaign, our annual combined charities campaign. After that time, it would be on their own to determine which organization or purpose they would like to continue to give to, and individually. And so just the tie initially is to our organizations already on our campaign.
Okay, good question, Commissioner. Thank you. Okay, well, we thank you. We wish everyone the best in this project. I think it's going to mean a lot to a lot of people, and somehow, some way, you know, the charity will get money from a large organization like ours, and we're a very giving organization, so thank you. So just... Okay, they're not here. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, Caesar, back to you.
Item number 5A, approve and adopt a resolution recognizing El Paso firefighters for their extreme bravery and courage during the DeSoto Hotel fire.
Commissioner Robinson?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. Good morning, everyone. Firefighters, you're louder than that. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Like when I was in the Army, we sound off. It's my honor and pleasure to make this presentation, Judge. These men and women in blue of our fire department, they do an outstanding job on a daily basis. So it's not just because of this one particular act that I want to recognize them, but this is a prompt me to do this presentation. I and many of our citizens in the community have had to utilize the services of the fire department, both a fire or emergency, someone's medically ill or whatever. They stand tall all the time. I have a lot of words I want to say, but I'm kind of short of lost for words right now, but to say that thank you guys. Thank you very much. Cecil, go ahead and read the resolution.
Yes, sir. Whereas on February 4th, 2022, El Paso Fire Department B-Shift emergency units were dispatched to DeSoto Hotel, 309 East Mills Avenue at 17:08 hours. Battalion 1 and a high-rise primary response responded to the 4-story structure fire. On arrival, Battalion 1, the incident commander, placed a condition 3 on the incident and upgraded to a condition 4, 5 minutes into the firefight. Ladder 1 and Pumper 1 made entry through the first floor up to the second floor where smoke and fire were found. Fire attack crews extinguished the fire on the second and conducted a primary search and rescue. And whereas upon making their way up to the third floor through the stairwell, crews were met with heavy fire and smoke conditions. The fire had now self-vented through the roof and collapse was close to being imminent. All interior units were ordered to withdraw from the interior fire attack as offensive strategy shifted to defensive, declared by the incident commander. And whereas 4 aerial trucks surrounded the hotel, setting up water towers for the defensive attack and for the protection of fire spread to nearby exposed structures, the bulk of the fire was knocked down in 2.5 hours, and fire flare-ups remained till 2200 hours into the night. During the firefight, majority of the hotel's roof and 4th floor collapsed. Fire watch was established and the incident was terminated the evening of February 5th, 2022. And whereas the following firefighters were on the scene and risked their lives to save the historic DeSoto Hotel: Edward Mendoza, Marcos Lopez, Gilberto Caldera III, George Garcia, Justin Ramirez, Jose Torres, Gilberto Ramirez, David Escajeda, Saul Pando Jr., Daniel Vallejo, Abraham Trujillo, Eric Crumans, Joel Lara, Jacob Garcia, Sid Salcido, Juan Soriano, Hector Gutierrez, Robert Bautista, Esau Villegas Jr., Benjamin Alarcón, Luis Loya, Pedro Durán, Lorenzo Melendez, Julio Flores Gomez, James Nicholson Sr., Adrian Parada, Ashton Crawford, Edric Jones, Nicholas Guzman, Raul Guel III, Jay Beeman, Daniel Romero, Emmanuel Gonzalez, John Michael Blow, Daniel Quintela, Brian Castillo, Victor Salas, David Sleek, Christopher Reeves, Jesse Esterline, Ricardo Alvarado, David Escobedo, Mario Maldonado, Sarah Carrillo, Eric Garcia, Miguel Gonzalez, Jose Rodriguez Jr., Juan Rubio, Derek Olson, Jesus Salmeron, Tim Sognesi, Dallas Taylor, Jaime Olivares Jr., Sergio Contreras Jr., Omar Loya, Samuel Sanguida, Luke Light, Hector Martinez, Joel Rubio, Victor Rodriguez, Jack Grouch, Gregorio Comasa, Carlos Murillo, Samuel Villarreal Jr., Gilberto Rangel Jr., Jason Rascon, Seth Monroe, Rolando Caro, Máximo Castañeda, Brian Silva, Eric Sandoval, Josué Rivas, José Cervantes, Alonso Zambrano, Robert Franco, Eric Marquez, Abraham Romero, Angel Lindsay, Reina Frank, Weisbart Joseph, Kevin Dieter, Jaime Serrano, Daniel Coronado, Alan Adame, Carlos Calvillo, Michael Garcia, Francisco Gallegos, Eduardo Aragón, Andrew Rivera, Ricardo Rodriguez, Robert Jones, Arno Stewart. And whereas through the courage, training, and dedication of the men and women of the El Paso Fire Department, the historical De Soto Hotel was saved from total loss. And now therefore be it resolved by the El Paso County Judge and Commissioners Court that March 2022 be known as Firefighter Heroism Month. Signed this 14th day of March 2022 by Commissioner Carlos Leon, Commissioner David Stout, Commissioner Ileana Holguin, Commissioner Carl Robinson, and our County Judge Ricardo Samaniego.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Commissioner Robinson?
Ladies and gentlemen, you firefighters, emergency responders, you respond to all different type of occasions. As I understand it, that this incident at the hotel, there was loss of property, but there's no loss of life. And we also understand that, from my knowledge and experience, that what you guys do, I said guys, I mean ladies and men, what you do is that you save El Paso in many different ways. You save lives, but you save citizens of El Paso as far as their money out of their pocketbook, as far as because you are very professional, you're very responsive, you respond on occasion as necessary with expedience, safety, and security of all the personnel involved. You help me with my insurance rates. That's not publicized, but it needs to be publicized because you guys provide a service to this community that is unmatched in that regard. Know this, ladies and gentlemen, first responders, firefighters, law enforcement, I got you six.
Yeah, Commissioner Robinson, we have Chief Rodriguez on the line as well. 'Cause
Yes.
We know Chief
Hear from
very
the
well.
chief.
Go ahead, Chief.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. And I just want to thank you all for this resolution, also for your outward expression and concern on that day. I know we had a lot of communication with you all regarding that fire downtown. But foremost, thanks to our crews that were operating for that long, cold night, maintaining and protecting the surrounding businesses, because that was a primary concern. And, but, of course, we just want to again thank you all for this resolution. And, of course, the everyday work that our personnel do 24/7, 7 days a week to protect our community. So we thank you all again.
Chief Rodriguez, thank you also for your leadership and your support. You've been available in a lot of different aspects, and so thank you for that. Is there anyone else that
I
would,
thought we had someone else from one of the other chiefs who wanted to speak.
please? Everyone's looking at you, Chief, so.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Judge Amanego,
Good morning.
Commissioners. My name is George Garcia. I'm a captain on Ladder 1 with El Paso Fire Department. And I thank you guys, women, for having us here and acknowledging us. I'm proud and humbled to be here on behalf of the fire department. It has been a rewarding experience for me, and I'm very proud to work for one of the better fire departments in the nation. Thank you for everything. We appreciate it. Gentlemen, women here, awesome. It's a brother sisterhood. Without them, I am nothing, and we always support each other for everything. Thank you.
Yeah, you have an amazing team. Thank you very much for your courage, and the whole community thanks you for what you've done. Thank you.
Come on down, guys. You gonna help me?
Greatly worked to extinguish the DeSoto Hotel fire on
Wait. We got. One more. Those who were present and those who were not present, we have plenty, we have sufficient, I'll say plenty. We have sufficient, each one of you will get, kind of pen. Thank you, sir.
my brother's married to his aunt. Oh,
Commissioner Robinson,
Yes.
I wanted to share that Barbara Franco in our county auditor's office shared with me that one of those names read was her son.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
extra kudos there.
All right.
Excellent.
Outstanding.
Okay, Caesar.
Item number 5C, approve and adopt a resolution declaring the month of March as National Red Cross Month in El Paso County, Texas.
Well, once again, I have the privilege and honor and very much connected to something similar of people trying to do the best that they can here. So, whereas in times of crisis, people in El Paso County come together to care for one another, this humanitarian spirit is part of the foundation of our community and is exemplified by American Red Cross volunteers and donors. And whereas in 1881, Clara Barden founded the American Red Cross, turning her steadfast dedication for helping others into a bold mission of preventing and alleviating people's suffering. Today, more than 140 years later, we honor the kindness and generosity of Red Cross volunteers here in El Paso County who continue to carry out Clara's life-saving legacy. They join the millions of people across the United States who volunteer, give blood, donate financially, or learn vital life-preserving skills through the Red Cross. And whereas El Paso County, the contributions of local Red Cross volunteers give hope to the most vulnerable in the darkest of hours, whether it's providing emergency shelter, food and comfort for families devastated by local disasters like home fires, providing emergency essential blood for accident and burn victims, heart surgery and organ transplant patients, and those receiving treatment for leukemia, cancer, or sickle cell disease, supporting service members of veterans along with their families and caregivers through the unique challenges of military life, helping to save the life of others with first aid, CPR, and other skills, or delivering international humanitarian aid. And whereas their work to prevent and alleviate human suffering is vital to strengthening our community's resilience, we dedicate this month of March to all those who continue to advance the noble legacy of American Red Cross founder Clara Barden, who lived by her words, "You must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it." We ask others to join in this commitment to give back in our community. We encourage all citizens of El Paso County to reach out and support this humanitarian mission. Now, therefore, be resolved by the El Paso County Judge and Commissioners Court that the County of El Paso does hereby proclaim March 2022 as National Red Cross Month, signed this 14th day of March 2022.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. And I'm very proud to say that Nicole Ruiz, who you all know and love, is part of the board. And so, Nicole, would you like to also come up to? She's thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to speak here. But go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Samaniego and Commissioners. My name is Ames Davis, Executive Director of the American Red Cross, and we have a short video, if I may ask, for you to see.
Absolutely. Thank you.
My dad, he was at the scene, just watching his house burn. And he turned around and all of a sudden there's Mr. Jacobs from the Red Cross.
Just huge outpouring of love, just going, people care.
I called the Red Cross. One phone call. Within a week, he was there.
It still hurts, and I just want it to be okay.
It's just immeasurable how powerful that one donation can possibly be.
Red Cross called me and told me we found your cousin.
That night, immediately, the Red Cross was there. And what they did for me was give me that break. They gave me that leverage.
That was the Red Cross.
You gave me life.
I looked down at my hands and realized I'm doing CPR.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this guy.
There's a lesson to be learned. Life is short. Make it worthwhile.
It's hard to describe what it was like to be that grateful.
I talked to my mother for the first time after 21 years.
I feel so lucky. I feel so lucky to have survived that day and to have the rest of this life.
This weekend, I'm just, enjoying life.
For that.
Thank you. Just want to, Ames Davis is a CEO of Red Cross, and we're very proud and we have a great relationship going, so thank you very much. But go ahead.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the volunteers, our clients, our community, and the American Red Cross, thank you for this resolution. We are happy to serve in this community. Here in El Paso, we've been here for 110 years with 5 lines of service, starting out with our military. Starting out with our military, and then with disasters, community preparedness, international law, and now we've brought blood services into El Paso. Thank you so much for all that you do for this community and for being a great partner. And also, thank you to our fire department for being a great partner as well. Thank you.
That's what I was saying, that great connection with our firefighters and with the concept of giving, so it was very appropriate, very timely. So you want to go ahead?
Thank you so much.
Introduce yourself,
Good morning,
please.
Judge and Commissioners. I'm Scott Lynch. I'm one of the board members of the American Red Cross, and kind of playing off what you said, I do think it is great timing that the fire department is here. So the Red Cross does many things, but one thing people may not be aware of is that we respond to every major residential fire in El Paso. So when people are displaced, within an hour or two, we have a team dispatch that's there to provide them with temporary lodging, with clothing to get them through the next couple of days until their insurance kicks in and gets them, back on their feet. So trying to, cover that period, that gap period is very important. So you can imagine, if your house burnt down, you have no family in town, nowhere to go. But the American Red Cross will be there for you to support you during that time. And it's also, I think, appropriate that the rabbis are here. So the ARC is actually an alternate spelling going back to the Greek. It's spelled A-R-C, which happens to be the acronym for American Red Cross. So we rely on donations and volunteers. So feel free to fill up your ARCs with donations and float them our way. And that's all I have to say. I just thank you all for your support, Judge Semenego and the commissioners, and that's all I have.
No, and Scott, thank you for your partnership. I know we go way back
Yes,
on
sir.
a lot of different initiatives, including the veterans, and so thank you for the partnership as well, and thank you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge,
If you don't mind coming up to,
Judge,
yes, Commissioner Robinson?
American Red Cross, I want to thank you guys for being here today, but thank you for the service you've provided over the years. I have a little history with the American Red Cross. Some of it not so good, in that when I was in Vietnam, you guys were the messengers to get a message to me that my older sister got murdered. While stationed in Germany, you guys were the messengers that notified me that my mother passed away. It was not a good occasion, but it was good that you were there to get to deliver the message to me, as well as other soldiers that was involved in the conflict in Vietnam. You guys were there when Katrina hit. You were there when Rita hit. I worked with you guys at the convention center from day one. You guys provided excellent service to those people who were evacuated, as well as Storm 2006. You were there. So American Red Cross, kudos to you.
Item number 5D, approve and adopt a resolution declaring the month of March as National Procurement Month in El Paso County, Texas.
Well, I don't mean to monopolize the resolutions, but this is also dear to me because it's our county employees, and so I'm very honored as well. Whereas each year, the National Institute of Government's Purchasing, NIGP, and other professional procurement associations throughout the nation celebrate March as National Procurement Month. Whereas these entities engage in special efforts to inform the public about the importance of the role played by procurement professionals throughout the industry and train its members its best practices for the acquisition of goods and services necessary to support their public organizations. And whereas the purchasing department recognizes, supports, and practices the public procurement values and guiding principles of accountability, ethics, impartiality, professionalism, service, and transparency established by the NIGP as fundamental tenets of the public procurement profession. And whereas the purchasing department procures annually over 70 million in goods, services, and construction projects for the county of El Paso. And the department continues to create a system of effective and efficient procurement techniques as well as technology to obtain the best possible outcomes and supports to county departments and taxpayers. And whereas the County of El Paso is committed to recognizing and honoring those departments that are dedicated to the highest ideals of public service, ethics, and improvement, and the county's purchasing department is one such worthy department. Now therefore be it resolved by the El Paso County Judge and Commissioners Court hereby recognizes March 2022 as National Procurement Month, signed this 14th day of March 2022.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Karen? Oh, there you are. Thank you.
Good
Karen.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Karen Davidson, County Purchasing Agent. Thank you for acknowledging the diligent contribution of our purchasing department for our National Purchasing Procurement Month. This resolution demonstrates to us that the work of our purchasing professionals have not been overlooked. Even during obstacles and challenges such as COVID-19 pandemic, the staff of our purchasing department worked tirelessly to maintain the supply chain to the county and to ensure the least amount of disruption for our goods and services. This team did this while earning the third consecutive year Achievement of Excellence in Procurement Award, the AEP, for 2020 and 2021. So this is our third consecutive year of winning this award through the National Procurement Institute. We celebrate our purchasing professionals that dedicate themselves to providing the best value for every dollar spent for the county. We look forward to continuing to provide high caliber operational support. My team and I are committed and focused on continuously expanding our knowledge, increasing our skill sets, and providing more efficient and continuous improvement in the services that we provide for the county. I want to bring my team up to introduce themselves individually, but I want to start with somebody that everybody probably knows really well, our Assistant Purchasing Agent. After 43 years of loyal service to the county, I'd like to introduce Joe Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing this department. In 43 years here, we've gone through many trials and tribulations, but the one thing that has maintained through all of my years here is the department's always been dedicated to serving you and to maintaining the integrity of the county government for the county government and for our constituents. And thank you for your support.
Thank you. Karen just started with us, doing an amazing job, sort of jumped in quickly, but also Mr. Lopez has been just a key. Every time we have any changes, Mr. Lopez has been just extremely valuable to us.
I was telling Karen, a couple of weeks ago now that, if she had only started maybe, about 10 years ago, I might, be around longer, but
No.
it's time to let the new talent
No,
take
no,
over.
well, we thank you for being here, and if the rest of your team, would you
Yes.
please come up,
Will you
please?
please come up and introduce yourselves?
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Commissioners. My name is Arturo Caballero, buyer for 21 years.
Thank you, Arturo.
Look County Judge, Commissioners, Albert Lopez, I've been with the county, I'm a buyer, been with the county 27 years.
Oh, thank you, Albert.
Andres Chavez, I'm the admin specialist, going on 11 years.
Thank you, Andre.
Good morning, Elvia Jauregui, Purchasing Manager, 15 years with the county.
Thank you.
Araceli Hernandez, formal bid buyer. I've been with the county almost 23 years.
Thank you, Araceli.
Good morning. Pat Williams. I've been almost 4 years.
Thank you,
and
Pat.
I'm a buyer for office supplies and furniture.
Thank you, Pat.
Good morning, Blanca Huereca, and I'm procurement data analyst, and I've been with the county for 6 years.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Claudia Parra. I'm a procurement data analyst. I've been with the county for about 19 years.
Oh, thank you, Claudia.
Samantha Bronson. I'm a buyer. I've been with the county for 5 years, 1 year as a buyer.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Selena Ruiz. I'm the administrative assistant for the logistics division, and I've been here about 7 months.
Thank you.
Good morning. Just call me Rockstar.
Good morning.
No, I'm Dartwan Barnes. I'm the logistics supervisor. I've been with the county for 5 years, 3 years in the logistics division.
Thank you so much. Just want to comment, that I know the community, we look at not increasing taxes as something that's really important, and obviously, as you've seen, the commissioners and myself are very supportive of not trying to increase taxes, but I think what they overlook also is how we handle the money. And procurement allows us to be as, cost-effective as possible, and that we use your money as taxpayers in the best possible way. And I can tell you, if it's not done properly, especially during the pandemic and the, having the backlogs and everything that they had to do, so a big part of saving money has to do with procurement, and not saving money, but being very effective and efficient with the money that we're given. We have the privilege of taking your money and using it in the best possible way, and I'm very, very proud of what Karen is doing now and what Mr. Lopez has done for a long time. So once again, thank you all, a great team, and thank you for being with us here today. Thank you. Was it the same frame you were? Yeah. Yes, sir.
On my better side.
Okay, Caesar?
Item number 6 is public comment. At this time, we do not have anybody signed up for public comment, so we'll take no action on item 6. Item number 7, board appointments. Approve and authorize the appointment of Commissioner Carlos Leon's appointee, Ismael Lopez, to the El Paso County Veterans Advisory Board for the unexpired term ending November 30th, 2022.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Is Mr. Lopez here? Mr. Lopez, if you don't mind standing at the podium, thank you for taking time off of your day to join us today. And we really had about 6 pages of your bio to read out loud, but I tell you that in keeping with the importance of our Veterans Board here and what we think of what we should be doing and becoming the nation's capital on veterans affairs here and veteran support. I'll just read a little piece of your bio, and maybe you can say a few words afterwards. Sergeant Ismael Lopez was born in Brownsville, Texas in 1984 and is the youngest of 3 siblings. He graduated from MacArthur High School in Irving, Texas in 2003, and after graduation went on to study aviation maintenance at Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In 2006, he joined the United States Marine Corps, and in 2009 deployed with the Marine Expeditionary Unit 2 in support of global war on terrorism. Sergeant Lopez served honorably and was discharged in 2010. Currently, Ismael is in pursuit of his master's degree in social work at the University of Texas at El Paso and expects to graduate this year, 2022. Sergeant Lopez is presently the outreach coordinator for Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic in Endeavors, El Paso. And it goes on insofar as your accomplishments, but I'm sure you're most proud of also being a proud father. So congratulations and thank you for accepting this very, very important position with the county's Veterans Board. The podium is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam, gentlemen. I just wanted to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I moved here in 2016 to El Paso, and I've made it my home. I have nothing but great experiences all over this place, even from my experience going to the VA to volunteering with veteran service organizations. This place is amazing, and I just want to continue my efforts in helping veterans. My short time in the Marine Corps, I met men and women that were, sacrificed greatly, not only for their country, but to get me where I'm at now. And that is my hope after I'm done with school, is to continue advocating for veterans.
Well, thank you for being here this morning. I tell you, last week, Endeavors had a great presentations of your new home, or new home to be in my precinct, Precinct 1, off of Pebble Hill. So I look forward to the groundbreaking and the ribbon cutting in the near future. So thank you for accepting my nomination of you to this great board. So congratulations.
Just to reinforce that you've done an amazing job, but Sergeant Lopez was our second Veteran of the Year that we're very proud of, and he had it was during the pandemic, and it had a difficult time, but he managed to be an example and a role model for us. Carl, you want to add to our conversation here?
Yes, good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Can you hear me?
Well, we sure can.
For the record, Carl Dwyer, El Paso County Veteran Service Officer. Judge, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'd like to start by, first of all, thanking Commissioner Leon for the appointment to fill the vacancy on the County Veteran Advisory Board. That, once again, shows your dedication to making sure that veterans are well represented across the county. I'd also like to thank Mr. Ismael's predecessor, Mr. Ramon Baca, for his service to the board. I know he couldn't be here today to receive his thanks, but we'd like to thank him for donating or providing his time and talents to service the board and to participate. I had the opportunity to talk to him this weekend and shake his hand. So if he's listening out there in the public, I'd like to thank Mr. Ramon Baca. As the judge said, we'd like to welcome back Mr. Lopez, the Marines. Can't get rid of a Marine for some reason. They just keep coming back. So we'd like to thank Mr. Lopez for coming back. As the judge stated, he was our 2020 to 2021 Veteran of the Year. And due to COVID, didn't have the opportunity to get out there and do the things that he probably wanted to do. So we like to again thank him for coming back, and we look forward to working with him and everything that he's going to provide for the board. I had the opportunity when I first met Mr. Lopez was, as the judge talked about, as a fellow, as an intern at the Stephen A. Cohen Clinic, and as a transitioning service member. I had the opportunity to sit down with Mr. Lopez on many occasions, many mornings in his office, and just have talk, as to pick his brain as somebody who had walked the road of transition. And quite as a kid, little does he know that he was an example to me of what a successful transitioning service members look like. I had the opportunity also a couple days ago to submit a professional support for his recommendation for a job application. And the three words that I use, as Commissioner Leon just stated, are dedication, humility, and father. And he's a very humble, motivated, quiet. He doesn't seek recognition, but he does a lot of great work. And lastly, I'd like to close that he does represent the motto of the Travis Manning Foundation of if not me, then who. So Mr. Lopez, welcome back. We look forward to working with you on the Veteran Advisory Board, and let's get to work.
Thank you, Sergeant. You have a lot of different initiatives, but making El Paso the Veterans Capital of the U.S., I have to stick that one in. It's going to be part of that we'll be talking about, because I think this every day I realize how much El Paso deserves to be recognized as such. So, and you're going to help that process by your own role modeling and your standards. So thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Commissioner Holguin.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson.
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, County Administration. Discuss and take appropriate action to select 2 members of Commissioners Court to work with and communicate back to the court on the migrant housing operations in El Paso County.
Good morning. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Betsy Keller, County Administrator. I placed this item on. The court previously discussed selecting 2 members to do this, to actually be liaisons with migrant housing, to share updates to the court, and also to provide any feedback from any thoughts or areas that the court identifies as might be something that could be addressed. And we never had actually designated 2 members of the court. We discussed it, but did not designate. So I wanted to place this on and see if you wanted to still proceed with doing so, and ask that you select the 2 members if you're still interested in doing that.
Well, Betsy, as you know, I've been working for almost 4 years now with on Fridays and very close to the process. So if the commissioners consider, I'd like to be one of the individuals that'll participate, like a very engraved in this process on a constant basis. So I think it sort of would allow me to, not do anything different, but yet contribute to this position. So I don't know if anyone else is interested.
Judge.
Commissioner Holguin?
I think we have
Yes,
two
I'd like to
volunteers.
volunteer.
We have two. Yeah, would love Commissioner Holguin would be excellent as well. I didn't mean to say excellent as well, but would be excellent without the as well. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
So the motion would be, to select Judge Samaniego and Commissioner Holguin to work with and communicate back to the court on migrant housing operations in El Paso County.
So moved.
Excellent choices. Second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Holguin.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy. And thank you, commissioners.
We're going to skip over item 9. We'll come back to it after lunch. Moving on to item number 10, American Rescue Plan. ARPA project number 1130. Approve the purchase of APX 8500 for the El Paso County Sheriff's Department through County Administration using DIR contract DIR TSO 4101, awarded to Motorola Solutions Incorporated of El Paso, Texas, in the amount of $120,160.35. Purchasing approved on March 3rd, 2022. Funding is available for 5 units in CP Replacement 22 patrol vehicles and 10 units in ARP 1130 and SG AR Plan 21 capital outlays.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Karen Davidson, County Purchasing Agent. This is for the sheriff's vehicles. This is equipment that we buy off of DIR. We award to Motorola, and it's their communication equipment, their radios and things of that nature. So this is for 15 of them. 5 are replacements, and 10 are for the new ARPA vehicles.
Move to approve.
Any discussions? Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 11, ARPA project number 1270. Approve the purchase of increased bandwidth for the Information Technology Department using GSA contract 47QTCA 20D0077, awarded to Lumen Technologies Government Solutions Incorporated of Arlington, Virginia, in the grand total amount of $393,661.10. Purchasing approved on March 4th, 2022. Funding is available in Communications Data Infrastructure.
Again, good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Karen Davidson, County Purchasing Agent. This is a GSA Federal Cooperative Purchase. This is for our ITD, but it's for countywide, and it's to move the current internet circuit bandwidth from 1 gig to 3 gig. And this speed will boost and assist us in serving even the at-home workers necessary to keep everybody connected during peak times and poor performance. And so this will really increase our bandwidth and help us with our internet connectivity. It is, again, through a federal contract for 3 years for the $393,661.10. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Karen. Any discussion? Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 12, ARPA project number 1270. Approve and authorize the county judge to sign the service order form and amendment between the County of El Paso and CenturyLink Communications, LLC, doing business as Lumen Technologies Group, and its affiliated entities for the increase to the county's primary broadband internet circuit bandwidth and increment to our distributed denial of service, subject to final review and approval by the county attorney's office. Funding in the amount of $393,661.10 is available in Communications Data Infrastructure. Contract number 2022-0052.
Chris?
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Chris Stathis here, Chief Information Officer. This item is a mirror of the one that Ms. Davidson just presented to you. This is just the agreement that will allow us to execute that increase in the bandwidth.
Thank you, Chris. Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Chris. Have a good day, Chris.
You too.
Item number 13, ARPA project number 1350. Approve and authorize the county judge to sign work order number 2, on-call civil engineering contract with CEA Engineering Group Incorporated, doing business as CEA Group, for professional services related to developing the 75-acre County Eastside Development Plan. Funding in the amount of $187,295 is available in GAR Plan 21 Cap Out. Contract number 2022-0159.
Jose? You with us?
He's not here in the meeting. Did you want me to call him, Betsy?
No, I don't know. Betsy, you can take this one.
Yes. Judge, Commissioners, we've previously discussed this as one of our ARPA portfolio items. This is to use one of our existing on-call engineers to help master plan the 75-acre parcel that the county owns. As part of your ARPA portfolio, we have a medical examiner facility, but to plan for the long-term future and make smart choices about where to place and how to use that parcel, we'd like to have this organization, CEA Engineering Group, come in and do that planning for us to help us design the property and the placement of the building to be the most appropriate for long-term future planning and future use of the property.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Leon, please.
Yeah, Betsy, I'm sure that in the development of these 75 acres, that UMC is included in it. In my many conversations with Mr. Cintron, he's mentioned the planning and goals of the hospital, possibly build a smaller hospital in that area.
Yes, sir. It's my understanding in my conversations with Mr. Cintron as well, that they would be looking for a portion of this property to be used for that purpose if the court would so choose. And that's why we want this plan. It's another reason why we want this plan to help identify what would be the best location to have a hospital, a smaller hospital, what would be the best location for a medical examiner facility, and any other types of development that would be on the same property. And it would help us identify access, improvements, and smart design for the property.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Judge, I have another question. I'm sorry.
Yes, Commissioner Holguin.
Thank you. I know that in the past you've also spoken about another East Side annex for the Sheriff's Department, since that particular area is growing so quickly. Would these consultants also look at that, Betsy, the possibility of having an annex there as well?
I believe we could have them look at like where would be the best place on this location to do something like an annex. Jose, can you expand on that for me? That was not the initial concept, Commissioner, but we can definitely see if that's possible.
Okay.
Sorry,
we
go
have
ahead,
Jose with us, so go ahead, Jose.
Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Jose Landeros with County Administration. I apologize. I was on another call and wasn't. The internet was a little slow.
Yeah. Jose, sorry.
Yes,
Assistant County
Erica.
Attorney Eric Rosales-Magaglione. We're just checking to make sure that YouTube is still streaming the meeting, Judge. If you just give us a second, we'll just check with ITD.
Okay.
Just a moment.
Just a second, Jose. Just trying to connect.
Judge, YouTube is not live streaming the meeting. That is not, I do not believe, and I'll refer to Erica, but I don't believe that is a requirement. We are recording the meeting, which is the requirement under Open Meetings Act. But YouTube is not streaming it.
Erica, you want
We're
to
back
comment?
up now? Okay. There is a network delay. It is back up, Miguel says.
Okay. Eric, are we okay?
Judge Commissioners, Eric Rosales Negaglione, Assistant County Attorney. We can go ahead and proceed, Judge.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay.
Commissioner, to your question, we can certainly ask the consultant to look at the findings of our other consultant study. As the court knows, we hired a quantum engineering to help evaluate the growth patterns in the unincorporated area and make recommendations on the location of new facilities that we would require, including those for public safety. And so those findings will be available right around the time that this project is really hitting, picking up steam in sometime in May, early summer. So I do think that there's some potential to identify if this is a good location for those types of services and have the findings of both consultants coordinated. But if not, we can, continue to explore other options or, maybe consider if this is an alternative. So I think there is some potential to ask for that, but the primary focus would be master planning this from a land use perspective to ensure that we're complying with all of the City of El Paso's rules and requirements with respect to zoning and subdividing for the types of facilities that are proposed to be located on the property, including the Office of the Medical Examiner, which will require some specific permitting from the City of El Paso. And this study and exercise will allow us to accomplish that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, Commissioner Olguino, you okay with that response?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to make sure that we're all keeping that kind of in the back of our mind. We know how that area is growing tremendously, and I think that's just something that I want to make sure we don't lose sight of.
Perfect. Thank you.
We do have a motion from Commissioner Leon and a second from the judge. Commissioner Holguin.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson.
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, Jose.
Item number 14, discuss and take appropriate action regarding implementation of the El Paso County American Rescue Plan Act Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds Portfolio.
Jose.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners, Jose Landeros, County Administration. This item is your biweekly item to discuss any movement within the portfolio that might require your attention, might require your action. If I could ask IT to bring up this morning's presentation and go ahead and go to the next slide. Wanted to provide an overview on the upcoming listening sessions that we have worked with your offices to schedule. Again, these are part of the listening sessions where the county will solicit input from the public about what types of services the Commissioners Court should consider prioritizing funding for using the $9.7 million that has been set aside for nonprofit assistance. And we're doing this in partnership with the Paso Norte Foundation and their subcontractors, which include Barracuda Public Relations for this. We have been coordinating very closely with Dr. Gallegos in County Administration Communications as well, to ensure that these events are not only held in public and available for people to attend, but also to be streamed and available for engagement online. Or if someone can actually make the meeting, they would be able to submit feedback via a survey to the county. And the intent of this is over the next few weeks to hold one session in every Commissioners Court precinct across the county. You can see the dates and times there and the locations, and then collect all of that information and hold a workshop with the Commissioners Court that we are proposing to hold on the April 21st existing special session meeting date, to allow the court to receive a summary of the public input, receive an overview, kind of like a literature review on what some standard practices and procedures are for issuing assistance to nonprofits, especially with respect to this federal funding Our consultants are looking at what work has been done across the country and what parameters have been set for agencies across the country to make sure that the court is following best practices for this type of assistance. And then after that final workshop, the consultant would finalize all of the documents, present them once more to the court for approval and adoption, and then we would anticipate pushing this notice of funding opportunity out to the public, to the nonprofit community, sometime in early summer. And so we will be working very diligently with them and closely on this over the next few weeks. But you can see that our first meeting is scheduled for the 24th and will be held at the Coliseum. And then it will wrap up on the first week of April in Canoteo High School. So the tools will be all available. Everything is bilingual. And the listening sessions will be held in the evenings from 5:30 to 8 p.m. to ensure that folks can attend. We will be starting the meeting with a brief overview of what the Commissioners Court has adopted, the structure that has been adopted within the portfolio. But members of the public are invited to attend, and if they can't get there right at the start of the meeting and they walk in a few minutes, maybe half an hour late, they will still have the opportunity to provide that feedback. That's why the meeting time runs until 8 o'clock, to really accommodate as many people that have to, maybe coming from work, traveling home, especially to some of these more outlying areas, to make sure that they can really provide that input to that. So we're very much looking forward to this project and soliciting some of that input for the county, and also to be able to tell the story of what exactly the county is working on with the $163 million that has been provided to us from the federal government. Are there any questions on these sessions or this upcoming workshop?
No, Jose, just the importance, as you know, fundamentally, we really want to make sure that the community gets involved in not only this project, but all projects. So whatever we need to do, we haven't been as successful as we'd like to, on people knowing about these sessions. So whatever our PIO and anything that we could do to make sure that we do get that we feel good about the number of people and the feedback that we get. So we want the quality, obviously, of the feedback, but also the quantity to make sure we feel good about, the participants. So just whatever we could do as Commissioners Court to make sure that our community knows about these sessions.
Sure. Yeah, no, thank you, Judge. We will work with each of your offices to provide you a starting point for you to use with your individual office newsletters, your points of contact, standardize some resources. You all recently recorded some of the introductions for those videos that will be available to be pushed out via social media. And so our strategy here is very comprehensive. We want to recognize people who can make the meeting. We want to recognize people who want to engage in the meeting online. Maybe they don't feel comfortable attending an in-person meeting yet. And then we also want to accommodate the individuals who aren't able to do either, but still want to provide feedback through an online survey tool, all of which will be available. So with the court's help and with the partnership with the foundation, I feel that we can have a very successful rollout of these workshops and really use this as a template moving forward for future community engagement on any similar initiatives.
Perfect.
Okay. Next slide, please. So as you know, we often bring changes to the portfolio before the court, just things that we want to make sure we are tracking related to the project that was just approved, the contract that was just approved, I should say. We would like to ask the court to establish a sub-project for that specific contract. And so the action would be to establish Project 1351, which would be the master plan of the county's 75-acre property on the east side. This doesn't have any fiscal impact to the portfolio. We would just amend the contract amount. We would amend the budget for the original master project to reflect that cost of the contract. And we would manage this as a separate project. Obviously, this project will be coordinated with Mr. Hernandez, who is managing, and Dr. Rascon, who are managing the Office of Medical Examiner project. But these obviously go hand in hand. But just for the purposes of reporting and accounting, I feel that this is a cleaner way to track this. So that is one item that we're asking for the court to take action on. Next slide, please. We're also asking for the court to update the phases of different projects, which is somewhat similar to the item that I just mentioned. A lot of the critical infrastructure projects have different phases to those projects. You have a planning phase, you might have a design phase, a phase that requires land acquisition, or one that requires construction. So what we are asking the court to do is to allow staff to evaluate these projects that are shown here, beginning with 1010 and ending with 1350, to evaluate if there are any other necessary phases that we need to establish, and then to authorize staff to administratively amend the portfolio to reflect those changes. So what that would mean, for example, for the water and wastewater project, is having project 1010 remain as the water and wastewater design phase, but then project 1011 would be the construction phase of those projects. And the same would hold true for each of those projects that are on that list. Again, this is intended to have a more transparent way to report and to track these costs to the public and to the U.S. Treasury Department. And this has no fiscal impact on the operating budgets. It really is just right-sizing each project phase into a specific sub-project. And so we've been working very closely with the county auditor's office on this. And if the court approves this and provides us with this authorization, we would amend those projects and then just provide a summary to the court via weekly highlights of what those changes look like. Next slide, please. And the last proposed amendment is really a ratification related to the virtual courthouse kiosks. When this project was originally presented and submitted to county administration, there was the cost associated with acquiring the new equipment, including the new kiosks, and the operating costs associated with those agreements. There was also anticipation of utilizing existing staff within county departments to help manage this and implement this project, to not necessarily spend more funds on project management from an outside firm or bring on a full-time employee onto the staffing table. For the purposes of ensuring that we are authorized to proceed with this, we are asking the court to ratify that personnel-related expense and to amend the budget to have a line item specific to that scope of work. We've been working closely with the county auditor, with the Human Resources Department on this. And once those costs are finalized, we'll proceed with a budget amendment to make sure that that is reflected in the overall project budget. And we would again bring that back to the court in a summary highlight on a weekly basis, as opposed to asking the court to formally take that action in the middle of Commissioners Court, if that is something the court would approve today. Those are all the amendments that we have for the court. I'm available to take any questions or answer any questions that you may have this morning.
Thank you, Jose. Any comments, discussion on this? Move to approve. Go ahead, Commissioner Leon.
No, just move to approve.
Okay. Second?
Commissioner Holguin?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson?
Aye.
Judge Samaniego?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, Jose. Great initiative. Thank you.
Item number 15, purchasing. Approve the purchase of El Paso County Escarate Annex roof replacement using Region 19 Job Order Contract 217411, awarded to El Paso JAG Incorporated, doing business as JAG Services of El Paso, Texas, in the amount of $94,723.20. Purchasing approved on March 4th, 2020. Funding is available in CIP 22 Facilities Escarate Annex renovations.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Karen Davidson, County Purchasing Agent. This is a job order contract purchase through a cooperative in Region 19. We'd be giving it to JAG Services of El Paso, and it is for the Escarate Annex building that needs a complete roof replacement. So we'd be tearing it down and completely replacing its roof. It is for the $94,723.20, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you.
Approve.
Second?
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Carol.
Item number 16, approve the purchase of 2 Superior front mount power brooms for the County of El Paso, Texas, using HGAC contract SM 1020, awarded to Sierra Machinery of El Paso, Texas, for a total amount of $145,706. Purchasing approved on March 3rd, 2022. Funding is available in special revenue, road and bridge cap-out equipment.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Karen Davidson, County Purchasing Agent. This is a cooperative out of Houston. This purchase for these 2 Superior front-mounted power brooms. This is for the road and bridge, and we are awarding it to a local vendor that participates in that cooperative, Sierra Machinery of El Paso. And I have with me my fleet director, if you have any questions.
Discussion?
Move to approve.
Second?
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 17, discuss and take appropriate action in regard to authorizing the purchasing agent to sign federal excise tax exemption certificates and state sales tax certificates.
Judge and Commissioners, Karen Davidson, County Purchasing Agent. This is a kind of a housekeeping item. Currently, both of these tax certificates have my predecessor's name on it. So what we're asking today for the court's approval is for me to sign each one of these tax certificates. This provides the reduction or the removal of taxes when we do heavy equipment for the federal exemption, and of course, the state sales tax certificate.
Move to approve.
Second?
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Item number 18, economic development. Approve and authorize the county judge to sign a letter of support for the University of Texas, El Paso we did have a correction to read in for this item. Item number 18 should read, approve and authorize the county judge to sign a letter of commitment for the University of Texas, El Paso Aerospace Center grant application for the U.S. Department of Commerce's Economic Development Administration 2021 American Rescue Plan Act Build Back Better Regional Challenge, pending legal review by the county attorney's office. This letter of commitment includes that the county shall provide $2,441,600 over a period of 2 years if the grant is awarded. Funding is available in General Fund Economic Impact Initiative, contract number 2022-0193.
Michael?
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Michael Hernandez, Director of Economic Development for El Paso County. This item before you is a letter of commitment for the University of Texas at El Paso's Aerospace Center as it applies as a finalist for the U.S. Economic Development Administration's Build Back Better Regional Challenge grant. Well, last year in October, the court provided the university a letter of support that helped it become one of 60 finalists for this grant that eventually will provide between 20 and 30 regions across the country with tens of millions of dollars to help with transformative economic development projects. That's tens of millions of dollars each for those regions. The university this week will submit its final proposal that is a comprehensive plan to help activate commercial space and defense-related activity in our region that could attract investments to our community connect our talents to economic opportunities, and create a regional ecosphere focused on innovation, which would make these activities resilient and sustainable in our community globally competitive. Most importantly, the proposal includes a component that would make the Fabens Airport a focal point for aerospace technology district that stretches as far east as Alpine, Texas. The district would accelerate commercial space activity at the Fabens Airport, as well as at an unmanned aerial vehicle facility that we have in Tornillo, and a business accelerator tied to these industry clusters in Horizon City. The effort would create a West Texas Aerospace and Defense Manufacturing Coalition that El Paso County would help lead, along with UTEP, the City of El Paso, Workforce Solutions Borderplex, and the Rio Grande Council of Governments. The proposal also reflects the work El Paso County has performed during the past several months in working with the university to identify these projects, and we meet with private sector partners that would help this coalition become successful at our Fabens Airport and in our community. We'd like to thank Public Works and Planning for much of this work as well. Improvements at the Fabens Airport through the grant would include additional hangars, another test stand for promotional activity, and space for testing other innovations. These additional assets would continue to grow the research and development capability at the Fabens Airport and for our region, and are projected to cost about $12.2 million. The proposal intends that the EDA grant cover about 80% of these costs and would require a county match that comes up to up to 2.441. Let me restate that: $2,441,600. Line item funding will be solicited from the County of El Paso to support these programs, and the construction for these projects will come through the funding from the EDA and would be administered by the County of El Paso and the City of El Paso. There is available funding in our Economic Development Impact Fund that can be applied over 2 years for these improvements of the Fabens Airport. And so we ask for your favorable consideration of this letter of commitment for UTEP's Aerospace Center's final proposal as it reaches for this transformative grant. I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
No, Michael, just thank you for that. It's been an amazing partnership that extends, a lot of years before it got to where we're at this point, and very supportive of that partnership. And obviously that money actually goes back into something we won, obviously, that the research, the hangars, and that's going to improve the airport. But we've got, who's on cell?
We also have Jose Landeros and Sal from planning to help us with any questions you have. So Sal Alonso.
Just additional comments. This is a very exciting opportunity for us to maintain. I was saying this morning in the debriefing that it's almost the way the city concentrates on the downtown area. This is something spectacular for our area, the rural areas, and where it comes into hiring, it comes into keeping our young people here, our engineers. I mean, there's so many dimensions that are so favorable. So our partnership has been amazing. So Sal, any comments you want to add? You've been very involved in this program.
Sure. Good morning, Judge Sal Alonso and Commissioner Sal Alonso from Planning Development, Associate Director of Planning Development, for the record. No, this is great. I know we've been working on this for quite some time already, going back several years ago with the partnership with UTEP. This kind of shows that, we're continuing the partnership with UTEP as a big stakeholder at the airport, and working together has, not only allow us to do the improvements at the airport, but a couple of years ago we were able to receive the additional funds to do the hangar design for 5 hangars through the EDA grant, and now with this opportunity to partner up with UTEP again to possibly get 5 more hangars at the airport, which is very, very much needed at the airport at this point. There's a lot of interest for leasing these hangars. There's a lot of potential for the growth here at the airport. So besides that, I know I'm very excited to be part of this team and kind of see it from when it was just a thought on the paper and where we're at now. So that's all I had to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity to again to partner up with UTEP, and I want to thank Michael and Jose for spearheading this and getting those conversations going. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been exciting. Dr. Chowdhury, obviously, what a person to be supporting. Susie's done an amazing job, and you know, we've had the opportunity, I've had the opportunity, and some of the members of the court to talk directly to executives like Boeing and Lockheed and Blue Origin and, you know, Raytheon. And when you've got them on the table, and we've got so many engineers that are leaving our community, it just makes a lot of sense that, you know, like I said, it hits so many dimensions from economic development to all the other dimensions that would be very favorable. So obviously very, very supportive of this program. Any further discussion?
I'd like to move to approve.
Yeah,
Judge.
Commissioner Holguin?
I'd like to move to
approve.
approve.
Yes, second. Thank you, Commissioner Holguin.
Commissioner Holguin,
Aye.
Commissioner Leon,
Aye.
Commissioner Stout,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Judge Samaniego.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all, Betsy as well, for supporting the process. And like I said, we've got great partnership with UTEP, and it makes a lot of sense. So we're looking forward to the outcome. And the best of luck on that grant application to UTEP. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioners.
Thank you. Caesar?
Judge, at this time, are you ready for executive? Okay. We will come back to items 19 and number 9, I believe it was. Yes, 19 and 9 after lunch. At this time, we will move into executive session to discuss items 20A through 20E pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071 and 551.087. Commissioners Court will reconvene to take official action.
We're so happy it's finally here. This is the Safe Outdoor Act. We've been working on it for many years. All animal shelters, advocates understand that no longer will animals, dogs, canines specifically, be allowed to be contained or housed on a chain. People use chains because they're so inexpensive, but chains belong on trucks, not animals. It's inhumane and it hurts them. So shelter is a necessity that they must have, food and water, and a trolley system of some sort. So we'll help you set that up. This act gives us a little more teeth to go in, gives us stronger law enforcement. The fines are severe. The first citation is $500, the second is $2,000. Your information will go into our database, including your address. We will know that you have been cruel to animals, and we will pull animals and restrict you having one.
Rene Herrera is getting ready to start his shift as an animal welfare officer, a job that he has done for 6 years.
The reason why I do this is because animals don't have a voice, and I feel the need to be there to protect them.
But today is not just any day, as the new Safe Outdoor Dogs Act has come into effect in Texas.
Which means that canines cannot be restrained with industrial chains, and also to adequate food, water, and shelter, and shade as well. And to put the dogs inside when this is in extreme weather, which is cold or very hot temperatures.
Rene is responding to the report of a pit bull that could be in an inappropriate space.
Yes, so the lady allowed us to see behind the property to see if the dogs were restrained. They give us a call of the canine not being contained properly. What's up, baby? So he checks out okay. He looks alert and active. That was one of my main concerns.
Although everything is in order, Rene reminds the owner about the new law.
So like I said, ma'am, it is an issue. Your dog's being out loose at large, so you can tie him up, but it cannot be with an industrial chain.
Violations of the Safe Outdoor Dogs Act are considered a Class C misdemeanor, punishable by a fine up to $500.
Hey, this is one of our dogs that we picked up today. He's going to be taken to the shelter because he was straight loose at large for not being restrained.
And although some may complain about this new law, for Rene, the most important thing is the safety of the pets.
We stocked the lake on Thursday.
1,528 all rainbow trout.
Kept the lake closed till this morning. Today we have our winter trout reeling.
You just rub garlic down the tail. Well, you put it starting at the head, just rub it down the tail.
Right now we're using the fake worms. You try to replicate whatever they'll naturally eat.
We had 52 pre-registrations, and this morning we had another 25.
There's a lot of people out today, so it's pretty neat to have a lot of people come out.
Just a couple of nibbles, that's it, but nothing yet. I'm just practically putting it in a little ball just to put it right here on this triple hook.
Wait here for 2 hours, and then that 1 second of catching a fish, man, there's nothing that beats the thrill.
was hoping to get more.
This is a family event just to kind of have fun. That's it. We catch something, we catch something, we don't. I mean, just having fun. Mine!
They'll have until 11:45 to catch the longest trout.
A little bit bigger. Oh yeah, it's a little baby.
The weather's cooperating, and I think people are just anxious to get out, and it's nice weather, and we're outside, so we can be safe and have a good time.
I know it's like a meditation type deal, so takes you out of the real world, I guess you could say. It's real nice out here just to be out here enjoying the view. It's a nice little park. So.
It's like one of the bigger water holes, in our area. The more attention we can get to it, the more fishermen, the more people buy licenses.
We will have another one of these in July for our camp out, and that'll be a catfish tournament. So follow us on our social media pages to make sure you stay ahead of what's happening coming up with parks.
If we don't catch anything, I don't care. We're just having fun. Fishy.
Runners, to your mark. Set. Go!
Running in the valley and past the missions, what else could you ask for?
Welcome, runners! Welcome!
At the county, we work so hard to really promote the Mission Trail. We know what an absolute treasure it is, how historic it is, and so many people don't really know what's here in the Mission Valley. So this is a great way to spotlight our historic treasures, our historic buildings.
Yeah, it was a really cool course. It was beautiful. I liked the mountains in the background, and yeah, cool things to look at.
I noticed a few of those signs, and I also actually really appreciated that. That also goes into the scenery of it, I think, is to see all that history, and that's kind of what people really appreciate in marathons. I mean, I'm from D.C. The races we run up there, they make an effort to go through the monuments and all that. So it's good to see El Paso trying to do the same thing with their history.
We had people from Germany, England, of course Mexico, and I believe somebody from France. And then from 38 different states come and visit us this year.
There are folks here from all over the country. This is a qualifier for the Boston Marathon. It's a huge event, and I'm just incredibly proud that we're going to get to show off the Mission Valley to all of these folks.
I hope we do it again. I'm sure that we will. Based on what we get from feedback we get from the runners, that I'm sure we'll be back down there.
This has been a great experience. El Paso, you rock.
Woo-hoo! You did it!
We're talking about a problem that existed in the area for over 20 years that had not been addressed. August of last year, we had a tremendous flooding, and it was necessitated having the proper equipment to mitigate the flooding because we had homes and businesses that were flooded out.
The court authorized to purchase these 4 new pieces of equipment for us to combat during stormwater events. We're very excited to have this opportunity. As you can see, these are great vehicles that we have. These trucks are great equipment that we could use. It'll help us reduce some of the flooding and some of the ponding that we have that occurs in the county.
We purchased 4 the vac trucks, which are capable. One truck is capable of sucking up, I believe, 800 gallons of water per minute. That would have been a tremendous asset had we had those then, because the Donovan area was flooded tremendously.
One of the great things of this truck is that basically we're able to do a lot of the work from inside the actual cab. Before we used to have to take the hose off and stand in the middle of the water and suck up the water. With this new equipment, we're able to direct it either via remote or from the cab. We just lower the boom into the ponding area, and we're able to extract the water that way. These pieces of equipment are a great first step that we have, and looking forward for new opportunities in the future.
Stay tuned. We have good things coming to El Paso County, particularly the Northwest region.
El Paso goes by many names. Sun City, 915. We are known for history, culture, food, and art. In the early 1900s, development and commerce in El Paso revolved around mining and trade. The nationally recognized mission trails are just one example of the many historic sites that portray our region's rich indigenous and colonial history. Since then, El Paso has evolved, and so has its people. We take great pride in nourishing a skilled and capable workforce, with 72% of our population being bilingual. We stay competitive among other large U.S. cities. The region's border location boasts a major trade port. It allows competitive local manufacturers to produce at maximum capacity. Fleet systems are capable of worldwide distribution of parts and products. Our state-of-the-art higher education systems are nationally recognized. The Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso, the nation's first comprehensive health sciences institution on the U.S.-Mexico border, provides students the opportunities to become doctors, nurses, and researchers. The University of Texas at El Paso offers 74 bachelor's, 74 master's, and 22 doctoral programs. Local government agencies and other economic development organizations help industries become established and expand in our community. The County of El Paso is great for business, but we also keep true to our southern hospitality with plenty of outdoor recreation options. It's easy to keep active in El Paso. We are constantly looking for new industries interested in expansion. We want to offer our help and support in the process. No matter the name, El Paso is proud, strong, progressive. We are El Paso. Come see what we can do together.
Today we're having our second annual event here at the beautiful park. Everybody showed up real early. It's a beautiful day. We have plenty of things that you can purchase for a donation. Everything goes back to the Animal County Welfare Department. And with that money's in an effort to reduce the pet population here in El Paso, we roll it back into our clinic. And then we also have free microchipping with our partners from El Paso Animal Services. And also our partners are out here from I'm Almost Home Rescue Group and for some adoptions. We've got some cute pets out here that need forever homes. Say hi, Max. Say hi, Max. When we offer these resources, they come early, they line up, and they want to do what's best for their pets.
And then we will go ahead and register her with the City of El Paso as well as with the county here.
It's cost efficient, to do it for free. That helped a lot, and that was huge motivator to come out and get this done. So it's great.
So this event came to be as a celebration of Read Across America, so promoting literacy. So it's a partnership with the United Way of El Paso, donating the books for kids, free books for kids to read. And then, of course, the Parks and Recreation Department and the Animal Services, the County of El Paso Animal Services as well, partnering all to teaching kids how to fish with the fish derby.
Be patient. Wait for the fish to come.
And educating the public on how to care for their furry friends. So it's a beautiful day to be out at Escarate Park.
Reading to them like this was really nice. Like I said, I've never really read books outside. We live in an apartment building, so we don't have the luxury to go out into a yard and read like on a blanket and stuff. So it was nice to have that here and have that opportunity. And our son, he really seemed to like it. Like I said, like the attention span could be short, but I think in this environment, he really liked hearing the book out in the sunshine.
Come play with us at Escárate Park or your local county park.
and we're so happy it's finally here. This is the Safe Outdoor Act. We've been working on it for many years. All animal shelters, advocates understand that no longer will animals, dogs, canines specifically, be allowed to be contained or housed on a chain. People use chains because they're so inexpensive, but chains belong on trucks, not animals. It's inhumane and it hurts them. So shelter is a necessity that they must have, food and water, and a trolley system of some sort. So we'll help you set that up. This act gives us a little more teeth to go in, gives us stronger law enforcement. The fines are severe. The first citation is $500, the second is $2,000. Your information will go into our database, including your address. We will know that you have been cruel to animals, and we will pull animals and restrict you having one.
Rene Herrera is getting ready to start his shift as an animal welfare officer, a job that he has done for 6 years.
The reason why I do this is because animals don't have a voice, and I feel the need to be there to protect them.
But today is not just any day, as the new Safe Outdoor Dogs Act has come into effect in Texas.
Which means that canines cannot be restrained with industrial chains, and also to adequate food.
Go ahead. Commissioners' Court has reconvened into regular open session. We're on item number 21. Discuss and take appropriate action regarding a Chapter 381 agreement with Project Iconic Thrive.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners Eric Rosales Negaglione, Assistant County Attorney. If it's the will of the court, the motion for this item could read to approve and authorize the county judge to sign the non-binding term sheet for Crest Building redevelopment between El Paso County and Mills Plaza Properties 5 LP and Crest Tunnel LP, contract number 2022-0201.
Judge and Commissioners, Michael Hernandez, Economic Development Director for the record. So I present to you this term sheet that summarizes terms of agreement between El Paso County and the development group to support a project in downtown El Paso of a renovation of a building. The support would be a 10-year term of support from El Paso County of 90% for each of those years, totaling $454,953. I'm happy to take any questions you may have. The project would achieve amenities in downtown El Paso, including a first floor food hall is what the development group is shooting for with this. And so I'm happy to take any questions for you, but certainly are looking for your consideration on this project.
Thank you, Michael. Quite an enhancement to the downtown, so move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin is absent. Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson?
Aye.
Judge Samaniego?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Michael.
We're going to move back to item number 19 from Public Works. Discuss and take appropriate action regarding adoption of the El Paso County Environmental Nuisance Abatement Order as authorized under Chapter 343 of the Texas Health and Safety Code. Opinion number 220162.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. Jose Landeros with County Administration. Very appreciative of the court considering this item this afternoon. This is a longstanding issue that we have worked on in Public Works over the past few years to determine a way to help ensure that we can provide for beautification of existing neighborhoods, safe places for families to raise their kids and their grandkids. And this is a project and an order that I think is central to that initiative. And it follows the best practices that have been set for local governments, including municipalities, to include the city of El Paso, with respect to how you go about abating nuisances that may exist in communities which pose a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of local residents. Next slide, please. Environmental nuisances are shown here, and these are some existing conditions that would be subject to the new order if the court approves this. What the order would allow the county to do is above and beyond the existing tools that we have at our disposal for enforcement of environmental nuisances. Currently, our code officers, our code enforcement officers will issue notices of violation to property owners, to tenants, if there are circumstances such as these present in a community. Most of those are addressed by the property owner. If they are not addressed voluntarily, a case is built, and with the assistance of the county attorney's office, that case is presented to the justices of the peace courts, and the JP courts then may issue corrective action, including fining the individual for each day that the nuisance continues to exist. However, there are some circumstances where the nuisance is not remedied, is not abated, and those conditions continue to exist. That may happen in circumstances where you have an absent landowner, you have issues where someone may have passed and there's no apparent heir for the property, and so providing notice of service to someone may not be possible. And you may just have properties that are just simply abandoned and no longer on anyone's particular radar. And these three circumstances are just some of the examples that our inspectors have seen in recent years where people have to live across the street from this, people have to live next to this. And the nuisance that creates, the threat to the health and safety is very significant. And the order that the court will consider today would allow the county to actually enter the property, remediate the nuisance, and then require payment of the property owner back to the county. And in the event that payment is not secured, the Commissioner's Court may authorize that a lien be placed on that property. And so if that property is sold, the county can then recoup its costs and also secure interest for the time that has elapsed where the payment was not secured. Next slide, please. This activity is authorized under the Texas Health and Safety Code. Chapter 43, subchapter C, gives the county the authority to enter the property to abate the nuisance, makes the property owner responsible for repayment. Infrastructure Services, led by Mr. Hernandez, as part of the Public Works team, would actually be in charge of this component of the project, whereby they would enter the property, track costs, track hours of staff and equipment that were utilized in this, and then that would allow the county to determine what the cost would be that the property owner would be responsible for. And as I stated, if it is not repaid, the county could then place a lien on the property. So if it's ever sold, the county would recoup its costs. The program structure has a few specific elements and specific roles for different members of Public Works and the Commissioner's Court to also play. So the administrator would be our department in planning and development. That is where our inspectors are currently housed in. They would identify the issue, conduct the field hearing, make recommendations, and then we would direct for an abatement to be pursued. We would then provide notice and that process, and the property owner could appeal that decision. If that decision was appealed, it would be heard by Ms. Palacios as the Executive Director of Public Works, who would hear the information that we have on the planning side, and would also hear any information that's relevant from the property owner, who would then make a determination. If an abatement is ordered and Infrastructure Services is going to be involved, we would place an item on the Commissioner's Court agenda, specifically your consent agenda, notifying you that this activity is ongoing, which would then afford the court the opportunity to pull the item, ask any questions surrounding that specific nuisance abatement, so that you could have the ability to acknowledge the program activity and how it's being utilized. Next slide. The process is really broken down into 4 general areas. The first being the general program administration, whereby our department would receive the complaint, conduct an investigation, and then determine if a nuisance exists. After that, our department would determine that yes, in fact, a nuisance does exist according to the rules and procedures that are contained in the order, and then we would provide notice to the property owner. They have 31 days to respond, and that response can come either in the form of voluntarily cleaning up the nuisance, or requesting a hearing before Ms. Palacios as the Executive Director of Public Works. If we do have to hold a hearing, that would be scheduled within 30 days of that request being received by our department. There's an optional 60-day extension to be made. In the event that a hearing is requested but is not scheduled because the property owner becomes absent or no longer responsive, the Executive Director would still be required to hold the hearing using all the information at her disposal to make a determination about whether a nuisance does exist and whether an abatement activity should proceed. If the abatement is performed by the county, as I mentioned, we'd place an item on your agenda, and then we would bring any action back to the court if needed, specifically if we needed to place a lien on the property if they chose not to pay. Next slide, please. That concludes our presentation. The full order and all those procedures were attached to the item that's presented to you today. I would very much like to thank a number of individuals who worked on this with us in Public Works, Ms. Palacios, Mr. Hernandez, also the County Attorney's Office, specifically Mr. McCary, who was the Assistant County Attorney who was assigned to this, but there were a number of members of the County Attorney's Office who provided feedback to this order to make sure that it was consistent with general nuisance abatement activity that the county pursues. And then I'm joined this morning by Mr. Manuel Macias, our Inspections Division Supervisor, as well as Ms. Blanca Roman, who is our lead code enforcement officer in the Inspections Division, who are really the boots on the ground who pushed for this order to be considered by the Commissioners Court out of necessity to make sure that, again, these neighborhoods that people call home can be safe, can be free from threats to health and welfare, as those pictures demonstrated. So I just have the opportunity to present this item and information to the court, but really a very much collaborative process from a number of individuals across the county. So we're asking for the court to approve and adopt the nuisance abatement order pursuant to Chapter 343, Subchapter C of the Texas Health and Safety Code, as presented by staff here today, and I'm available to take any questions that the court may have.
Well, Jose, thank you for recognizing everybody that came together. This is very long awaited. I know, Commissioner, that have these areas where there's nuisances, just has been so difficult. A lot of concerns, the sheriff not really understanding what they can and cannot do, and we're very fortunate to have them, but they were sort of disarmed in a sense that trying to do something about it. So this is long awaited. It's going to be great for our public health and other things, collateral opportunities that we have. So it's long awaited, and we thank you that it's where it's at this point. Commissioner Lo?
Yeah, thank you. Jose, now that the precincts have been changed, I inherited a nuisance, well, many nuisances. Let me see, I want to make this fit into this agenda item. One of those is the Fiesta Drive-In, but I bring this up because I spent half a day with the Sheriff's Department in that area last week, and there's some development. It's about 300 acres worth of development directly behind the theater. And I know they've been there for a long time. A church, matter of fact, located right next door, knowing that they've been there. Is this abatement item also apply to them?
The way the order is currently worded, it would apply to any property that may have an environmental hazard associated with it that might need to be cleaned up. So that could be a collection of trash. All of that is specifically defined in the authorizing statute. So to the extent that there were those types of violations associated with that business or with any property, this order would apply to them as they are located within the unincorporated area. With respect to anything else, that might be a question that the county attorney's office, specifically the nuisance abatement team, might be able to add. But this is specifically to environmental nuisances, which are the trash and debris and solid waste that may accumulate on any given property.
When we talk about, and I'm not trying to be funny, when we talk about trash and debris, Eric or somebody from the county attorney's office, could this be, I know that it's going to become a very serious issue as these homes start popping up. And I know that the Sheriff's Department has had many complaints in the past, and they continue to have even now more concerns with all that development going on right behind this building, this location.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Eric Morales, Assistant County Attorney. Commissioner, I'm concerned that the scope of your question is beyond this beyond this item at this point, because this, and Kevin McCary is really, I want to give him credit, he and members of our team, they did the bulk of the work on this. But this really, excuse me, deals with trash, environmental stuff. What you're talking about is more content-based, and that's not what this order is addressing.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
We
sir.
can follow up with you separately, Commissioner, on that other concern.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, please. Thank you. I mean, like I said, this is just an amazing opportunity. I sort of want to piggyback on saying that May 21st, we have a community cleanup with Sanelli. And to my surprise, which is, there's a total of 24 cleanups that are scheduled for 2022. And you know, that tells us a lot about what Public Works and what we're trying to accomplish, and how that cleanup is so important. But this will really add. And, you know, especially, you know, we're going into the summer, the water, the rain that accumulates in tires and so forth, that is really a public health, you know, hazard for us. So thank you, every one of you, for everything you did to come to this point, long awaited, as I said earlier.
Judge.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Robinson?
Question, thank you. The question I have is, how are we going to disseminate this information to the public?
It's a great question, sir. So I think we can definitely partner with Public Works, who are working on those community cleanup events, letting the public know that that's part of it. Part of it is also just going to be handled by the boots on the ground, our inspectors, who are actually going to be dealing with that. But I think we'll definitely coordinate with Dr. Gallegos in County Administration as our PIO to help get the word out about this, so that the public can know that the county has a new enforcement tool in its reserve that can be utilized to let people know, you know, that if our inspectors approach you and let you know that you need to clean up an environmental nuisance on your property, that inaction will no longer be acceptable based on this order, and the county reserves the right to remediate that. So we can definitely work on spreading the word through those different avenues.
So public information as far as through the media. One of the methods that we use with the city in regards to those notices were in the utility bills.
Okay, yes, sir. Yeah, I think that's definitely, we look into that. We have sent out notices for other meetings and information through the utilities before. So we will take that recommendation and work with the different water districts and see if they would be open to that, or perhaps the El Paso Electric Company. And then we can report back to the court what that action looked like.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you,
Commissioner. Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Holguin is absent. Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout? Commissioner
Aye.
Stout? Oh, thank you.
Okay, there you go.
Commissioner Robinson?
Aye.
Judge Samaniego?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Great
Have a great
job,
day.
Jose, and the team. Thank you, our county attorneys. Excellent.
Mr. Landeros, do we have any speakers that wanted to speak on the item? Any public comment that you had?
We had shared this information with some of the justices of the peace. I'm not sure if they had signed up to speak or if they were on the call.
We haven't received any requests.
No.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Go ahead, Cesar.
We're going to jump back to item number 9 from County Administration. Discuss and take appropriate action regarding El Paso County's preparation and response for COVID-19.
Betsy?
Thank you so much, Judge. We have Dr. Ocaranza on the call with us. Dr.
Excellent.
Ocaranza?
Dr. Ocaranza, thank you. Thank you for your flexibility. I know we had to schedule a little later, so thank you for being available.
No problem. It's always an honor and a
and a pleasure to be with you. And thank you very much, Judge, Commissioners, for this opportunity to provide a very quick update on the COVID, which we continue to see an overall improvement. Because of the hospitalizations that we have seen that continues to drop, now on the scorecard and the dashboard, we're in stage 4, which is the best zone that we can be. But this doesn't mean that we're going to be relaxing our recommendation of practicing prevention. And for the community, this is not the time that they need to let the guard down. We need to continue practicing prevention as mentioned. We need to focus in those that haven't received their booster dose of the vaccine to come and receive it now that a lot of the children are on break. It is the great opportunity for them or everybody that is 12 years of age and older to come and receive the booster dose. And also the parents that haven't received the booster also can come and get the booster. We have reached about 80% of the population eligible to receive the vaccine fully vaccinated. That's what we need to now focus in getting people the booster. We're going to be hearing in the news more and more the need for a booster dose, and Pfizer has already mentioned something about continue to have an extra dose of the vaccine. This is a possibility, and this is something that we have discussed before and I have brought to the court, in which probably every year as we have new variants, as we have the immunity waning, particularly for those that are in senior citizens and those that have chronic conditions, then the waning of the immunity is a lot more significant. That is the reason why they might need an extra dose of the vaccine. But as it becomes sufficient, then we will bring it to the court so we can advise the community on that. In the meantime, this is also the perfect opportunity for the people that have chronic conditions to go visit your physician, your primary care provider, so they can have enough of the medication. This is a chance that they can control those chronic conditions, and this is a chance to look at the overall health of each individual, the mental health, the physical health, the spiritual health, because that wellness, overall wellness, is going to help us fight not just COVID-19, but many other infections, whether it's respiratory, whether it's GI, or also controlling those chronic conditions. So we need to stress now in the community that they can take care of their loved ones. They need to take care of themselves. And that's the way that we continue being healthy and enjoy a nice spring and summer. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you. As always, thank you, Dr. Carranza, the educational component, and help us to anticipate what's happening moving forward. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, Judge.
You have Chief Rodriguez.
Chief?
Hi, Chief. Welcome again.
Excuse me. Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. I just want to thank you all for giving us this opportunity. I don't have too many updates this week. We have our testing continues to go down in demand. Our vaccines continue to be available for the community at the COVID clinics, convention center. As mentioned previous week, those will be available for the rest of March, and then we'll be doing a closer evaluation as we enter into April. Other than that, unless y'all have any specific questions for me, I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. Yes, Commissioner Leon has a question.
Yeah, Chief, just to put it out to the public that the second round of COVID home tests are now available in case the public, general public, has not taken advantage of it and they need it. Just if you could put that out, because I think it's there are some families that have already used up their initial supply.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great observation. Thank you, Commissioner.
We'll do.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Betsy?
Judge, we'll go to the court and we'll begin with you.
Yes, you know, I've been having discussions with Judge Chu and Betsy on some of the changes that are taking place, that we're moving towards the trials and sort of going into normalcy, but being able to do as much as we can to make sure that the safety is still a big component. We'll continue discussions today, and Judge Chu and myself will have a press conference to really get really specific on how we're going to handle the, moving into this more of a normal situation. But we're also encouraging, as always, if you could remote and there's no need to bring people in. There's some excitement about some of the things that we liked about how we handle the pandemic. A lot of the remote, access to hearings and so forth are still going to be available. We've learned quite a bit that we don't have to have our courthouse filled if not necessary, because it prevents us from other things, from pollution of people having to come in versus going online, and so many other areas. So we'll tie it down a little bit more as to what's going to happen, and then we'll have a press conference, and obviously we'll send the information prior so that all our county employees will know ahead of time what we're trying to accomplish, pretty quickly. So thank you, Betsy.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioner Leon?
No new information.
Commissioner Stout?
I don't have anything.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Robinson?
No changes.
Thank you, sir. And I know Commissioner Olguin had to step away, so that concludes this item.
Okay. No further action on item number 9. Judge, we do have one housekeeping item. We have 2 items from executive session that we needed to postpone for next week.
Okay.
Items 20B and 20E. Could we please have a motion to postpone both items for 1 week?
So moved.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson?
Aye.
Judge Samaniego?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Caesar, one other housekeeping item. There will be no special meeting this Thursday. We are scheduling all those items for the following Monday.
For Monday. Thank you, Betsy. Great for the
public
public and
reminder.
for us to know. Thank you.
And Judge, one more thing. I failed to announce our ASL interpreters for the morning. This morning, we were joined by Dario Garcia and Audrey Lopez. They were with us all day this day with.
Hello and goodbye. And they do a great job, and I always enjoy our conversations. So thank you for being here with us today.
And with that, sir, that concludes all the items on our agenda.
Well, I'm not used to, and we're not used to, like, leaving before lunch. And so if you guys want to stay a little longer, you're welcome to. No, I'm sure everybody has a lot of work to do. Thank our county attorneys, our new Claudia, thank you for being a part of our team now. We appreciate that. And we hear so much about the county attorneys throughout the day as to what they do, and thank you very much. Wally, thank you for being back here with us. Thank you. And everybody else, Betsy, your team, Miguel and company back there. And thank you. I know Alexis is on vacation, so I'm glad he's having some time off. So everybody else, Caesar, thank you. And commissioners and everyone else, thank you. Have a great afternoon and an amazing weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stout.
This concludes today's meeting at 12:21 p.m.